Welcome back to another episode of Drivers4Drivers. I'm Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah!
You got Francis Ham.
Hi.
Kenny Koontz. Behind the scenes, we have Arnell.
Hello.
And we are
Drivers4Drivers.
You're looking at me like I'm a little...
I thought I was going to get filled in first, but I can wing it.
Hey, so we are going to talk about some things today.
Okay.
Some flooding.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's kick it off with our safety topic. We'll go from there. So, Arnell, if you can help us out and show a little video here of, I'm sure probably 80% of our folks have seen it, but I want to talk about adverse weather conditions. Last week I was down in Missouri and spent some time in Carthage and in Joplin, and big thunderstorms coming through at night. Wind was howling and sheets of water hitting the window, and Francis stayed up all night. Not my choice, but I had to. I wasn't in my bed.
Oh.
So anyhow, when you're running down the road and you get into adverse weather conditions, rain, wind, lightning, all those things, you need to make a decision. Are you going to keep it on the road, or are you going to park it? Side winds running through Wyoming, wherever you're at, they start getting real strong. My advice: get off the road, point her into the wind. It's not worth rolling a truck, I'm sure everybody who's out there on our team, like our professional drivers, have been in that situation where they've been hit with a side wind, and you get a little bit of a pucker power there going, a little pucker factor. The other thing is when it's raining super hard, and you know what I'm talking about, when you get into those real bad rainstorms, you got your wipers on high and you still can't clear the windshield. Vehicles are slamming on their brakes. You can hardly see them out there. A lot of people in big, heavy rainstorms like that don't even have their lights on. It's tough to even see them. There's no sense in that. If you can find a good safe haven, get off the road, let it rain its thing out, clear it up, and then get on the road again and get going again. It's just not worth it. And then this video that you're looking at here on the screen, there's probably somebody going down the highway, gets into some water, torrential rain, and probably exited the roadway. And I think everybody knows you get off that hard surface, that road surface, and get into the soft soil on the side of the road, and it just sucks you in. Yeah, you're just done. And that's really unfortunate, real bad deal there. But just looking out for everybody's safety. You are the professional. You know what you're doing out there. Just don't take any chances. If it gets real bad, you may be in control of your unit, but you're not in control of everybody else that's on the roadway, and that could cause a real big problem for you. So,
What he said.
Thought I seen I-29 was flooded again.
Again,
Yeah,
it does that.
I know. You'd think they'd raise that up after all these years. But pretty bad flooding over there.
More sandbags.
I heard Minnesota's got a few hundred extra lakes.
so now it's 11,000 lakes instead of 10.
Yeah.
That's what I was told.
That's just bananas. How old were you when your eyebrows started growing just crazy like?
My eyebrows growing?
I know it's completely off topic. It's a little weird. I understand. But I woke up this morning. I have 2 or 3 eyebrows that are invading my eyeballs.
I only got 2 eyebrows. You got 2 or 3, huh?
Yeah, I've got this one here that's starting to grow. But some of these hairs have gone, and they've just been, they're crazy. I don't, does that come with age?
It does. You start growing hair out of your ears, grow hair out of your nose, all kinds of fun stuff with age.
What do you guys do on the road for personal hygiene and taking care of that kind of stuff? Let us know in the comments.
Yep.
Speaking of comments, go ahead. No, I interrupted.
No, I got another piece of good news.
Oh, yes.
So we have reached out, and we've got 4 new customers that we have not done any business with who are getting signed up and are already signed up now.
Oh, fantastic.
And we're looking for opportunities there to expand with them. So that's really exciting. And really, we couldn't do that if it wasn't for the service that we're providing out there. Even though we don't haul for the customers we're talking to, our reputation is out there. And a lot of people who may work for company A end up taking employment with company B, and we're talking to company B, and they know all about us from company A. And that just happens, within the workforce as people are moving around. So it's a great opportunity. And again, we couldn't have those opportunities if it wasn't for our professional drivers and what they're doing out there every day.
Absolute direct reflection of what they do.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So it's good stuff. Keep it up.
On the comment side of it, I was looking through our last podcast with Joe, and there's some really good comment and feedback on there. If you guys just keep that up, I will get to you and answer those questions as soon as I can. And I just want to let you guys know I appreciate doing that. Something I ran into the other day when I was sitting there, I go through and I read. I try to understand this freight market the best I can. And there's a few things that have popped up.
You read?
I try to. I mean, it's hard. It takes me a long time to do it. Sometimes, I hit, text to voice, and then it reads to me. And then I don't understand the words. And so then I got to go in there and, use the dictionary and figure out, what some of these words were.
You have to show me that trick.
So Scott, he comes out with the market analysis. I don't know if that's quarterly, monthly, weekly. I don't remember now.
I believe it's quarterly, isn't it?
But he comes out with it, and I had it up. I don't have it up anymore. It basically sums up that there's some key indicators that we are starting to get out of this freight recession. We are starting to look a little bit better. Prices of fuel's coming down. The rates on spot market have come up just a teeny tiny bit. And I wanted to know if that's because you talk to our brokers and our customers daily. Are you seeing? Because I can sit here. I've got stuff on from Freight Waves. I've got stuff from TT News, and that sits there and says, the freight recession is not technically over yet, but this is what the beginning of recovery might look like. And so with you being in that all day long, are you seeing that? Is what we're reading?
Well, produce is firing up. You got peaches and avocados and all this real heavy right now. So they need a lot of trucks to haul that produce. So naturally the rates are going to come up in certain areas where that produce is. Mm-hmm. It's still pretty slow out there.
Pretty slow. Have you seen a little bit of uptick in that?
And the produce a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. But the rest of the stuff's just pretty much.
Yeah,
Well, I think on Freight Waves too, and you've probably seen the same thing that I did. Mm-hmm. It looks like reefer freight and flatbed freight are up like 2 cents.
Yeah, it's
really minimal. But it looks like dry van is still way low.
Dry van's, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Read that FedEx is coming into the LTL world. LTLs, I guess, is doing pretty good right now. Mm-hmm. I didn't read too much into that, but if you guys have LTL experience, bloop it down in the comments and let us know what you see out there.
Yeah. And I think you're looking at an industry number there, and compare an industry number to what our professional drivers are doing. And I think, we look at it as an entire team from the office and the driver's perspective as well on limiting, deadheads, working with our dedicated customers as much as we possibly can, and keeping ahead of the truck the best that we can. There are times when you can't get a load immediately. You just can't get it. There's nothing there, or nothing that's worth the driver's time to try to pull that load. And I think we work a little bit with them and try to get it going so that improves the RPM for our guys versus an industry standard where, sometimes these folks just aren't able to get the loads that they need to get.
Right.
Do a lot of deadheading, to the load. And then once they've unloaded and delivered that load, where are they going to next?
Sure.
It could take 2 days or something to try to come up with something.
And that's where utilization really comes into plan.
Yeah.
And that's what the planners are doing. We do have a couple comments on there that, hey, I sat for a day or two. And I dove into that because I'm like, we can't have that. Because I know you guys are in there. You guys are busting your butts. And I had looked, and this individual had denied like 2 loads beforehand. And so that really puts you guys in a bind, right? So now you're scrambling to try and get the load that they're looking for. But then let's say the load that you had on them was going to an area that we're getting out of quite often. But the load that they wanted got us to an area where they're not really getting out of. Does that make sense?
I think the impression is that you can just go in and pick the load that you want. those really that isn't the case. There may be a list of loads, and a guy wants to go to Arizona, and there's no Arizona loads. It's not just to go in and hand pick and do it. There's a lot of other stuff that goes into that.
Right. Looking at some of the other issues that I've been seeing is that they'll deny this load. They'll ask you for a different load. You're like, okay, we can do that, but then they don't get to the area that we can get more loads out of that are paying, and so they end up sitting for a day. So we can look at that and try and get that done. I don't know, you were working with the gentleman today that kept denying, like didn't want to go to this area, didn't want to go to that area, and sure, we can do that, but you're just you're shooting yourself in the foot at that point.
Well, and he got upset. The load wasn't going to be ready till later on this evening. Well, that's part of the trucking industry. You're at the shipper's mercy. When the load will be ready, they give you a rough estimate of the time. They give you a set time usually to be there. So you want to be there, but then the product they may be waiting on 5 boxes of one thing to finish out the order, and it hasn't come in yet. Produce is really bad for that, especially if you're waiting for stuff to come across the border,
It's still being picked,
or to be chilled down or iced, or there's just some waiting involved in it.
Yeah.
So the issue there was he probably should have just waited. Because, as you know, 4th of July is tomorrow.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
Yeah. So a lot of places take a long extended weekend for the 4th of July. I think we got quite a few guys off for the 4th of July. I was thinking it was Christmas in the summer. But it makes it a little bit harder, once you refuse that. Naturally, these places aren't open on the 4th of July. And if they're not open over the weekend, now you're sitting 4 days.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So it's just a spiraling effect, If you just be patient, it is what it is. We try to keep everyone running that wants to run over the holidays with a load on them for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully everyone still has their phalanges.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a pretty good safety topic, too, If you are driving over the 4th of July, all these cities have big fireworks.
That's right.
Yeah.
Don't get stuck in watching the fireworks
That's
and
right.
run off the road.
Yeah, that's right. Those are the kind of sparks and stuff you don't want to see.
Yeah. Don't be throwing firecrackers from your truck.
That's right. That's right.
It's okay, Marla. We didn't say that out loud. Arnell, you got closing thoughts?
No, I got nothing for today.
You got plans for the 4th?
I usually just go to CSI and watch the fireworks there. I really wanted to fly a drone into the fireworks, risk a drone, basically. I've seen these cool shots. I was like, I bet I could probably get that, but I need to probably check with some people if I can actually do that before I risk a drone.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Closing thoughts?
I think I want to thank more than just our professional drivers today. Like we said, tomorrow's 4th of July. That's Independence Day. I'd like to recognize and thank all the veterans. So I want to recognize that. And, of course, I want to recognize our professional drivers for everything that they're doing. You do an amazing job out there. We appreciate everything you do. And if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here right now. So thank you.
Absolutely. Kenny, closing thoughts?
Happy thoughts.
Happy thoughts.
It's easy to get buried in the weeds and down when you're out there trucking. Just keep your heads up, be safe, and make some money.
Let's make some money.
Yeah.
That's right.
Thanks for everything you do. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
See ya.